Okay. Hi, everybody. Happy Thursday. Hi, everyone. Hello. Come on in. Say hello when you come on. Hi, everyone. Has to be my. That's my baby. Hi, everybody. Come on in. Say hello, Miss Lee. How are you? Haven't seen you on live in a while. What's going on, girl? Hello. Hi, Jack Timmy. King Nasa, how are you? Tony GoK06. Lua. Okay, that name is. Thank you, Conde Dorcas. How's everybody doing? Hello. Hello, Jennifer. How are you? Tishibu. Hi, everyone. Come on in. Let's talk immigration. Today, I bit my tongue. You know when you're chewing gum and you bite your tongue. I bit my tongue and it hurts so bad. So if you see me doing my mouth somehow, yeah, like that. Bear with me. It really hurts. Um, if you go on our website, Dorcas Akande, olalayalawfirm.com, on any page, I think, you would see directions on how to schedule a consultation on the website. So, yeah. So if you go on the website, I wish it was food, King Nasa. I think it was out. I had gum in my mouth. Well, because I had eaten something during lunch and I had a hearing, I had a court hearing, and I was going to be close to sitting close to people, so I wanted my breath to be. So I got gum in my mouth and I bit on my tongue, and then shortly before I came on, I had gum in my mouth and I bit on the same spot. So I want you, how are you? Well, you me. What one? But anyway, hi everyone. This is Attorney Abisola Adepola Olale Omobabasamu, immigration lawyer based in Alabama, representing immigration clients in all 50 states. If you've got an immigration case, my firm handles that case type. We can't and do represent immigration clients. Yeah, it's funny. It's not because I heard, but listen, and it was chicken wings. Like it was good. Y'all don't know how. When I came to the United States, is when I knew that people don't break like chicken bones, like crushed bones. When she style, like they're doing like bougie. No. So, but the thing is, whenever I'm at work and I'm eating with like coworkers or whatever, oh man domingo, because I'm looking at the chicken bone and I'm like, oh, Lord knows, I wish I was home. I wish I was home. Because I wish I was home because I can take this chicken bone and crush the heck out of it. But I gotta be a lady. Oman Domingo. But anyway, if you have an immigration case, hello video pumping, and we can, if it's a case that we handle, we can and do represent immigration clients in all 50 states. Our contact number is 334-341-4475. You can relate, right? I'm telling you. You can also visit our website at olalayalawfirm.com. Follow us at all. Not all. I'm not on. Well, I have an account on Twitter. I just don't use it. Social media: Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. We would love, and appreciate that. And share and like a Facebook page, follow us on TikTok and Instagram, on all platforms. If you put in Olale Immigration, it's on. Go on my page, Dorcas. You'll see that information there. But it's Olale Immigration, olalayalawfirm.com. And if you want to switch over to YouTube or Facebook, Dorcas Akande, you would see it on the screen. I'm still in search of a streaming app for Instagram where I can have what I have on Facebook and have my logo and all of that. But anyway, let's talk immigration, people. Come on in. Come on in. Put your questions in the comment section. Let's talk immigration. I feel so much better compared to Tuesday, compared to weekend. So I give God the praise. I tell you. It's amazing what kind of thoughts go through your head when, when you're like helpless. Anyway, let's talk immigration. How's everybody's week? This week went pretty fast. Can y'all believe it's Friday already tomorrow? This week went pretty fast. Oh, by the way, let me say this. For those of you who have VAWA cases, and we're going to talk about VAWA cases tonight, but for those of you who have VAWA cases, and if you're getting because this has happened to 3 cases in my firm now, if you're getting biometrics or even your I-360 receipt notices, be sure to look at what Vermont Service Center is writing as the case type. So 3 cases so far we have in my firm where they sent 2 of those cases, they sent biometrics notice under an SIJDA case. Basically, they categorized my client's cases as special immigrant juvenile cases rather than self-petitioning spouse of abusive citizen. And so 2 of those we got biometrics notices. 1 we actually got the receipt notice categorized in that case type as an SIJ rather than a VAWA petition. So literally before I came on, I just got an email from the Vermont Service Center admitting that it's an error on their end, because it's like, okay, the first thing I did obviously was to check our file and just make sure it wasn't an error we did. So went to check it and I saw that on the ones we got the biometrics on, the receipt notices already have self-petitioning spouse. But on the one where they had categorized the receipt notice itself as an SIJ case, a file copy actually does have that it was selected as a self-petitioning spouse. And so they will correct that. So they are making some errors. Be sure that when you get any biometric notice or your receipt notice, look to make sure that the case type is categorized correctly so that you're not being processed as another case, number 1. Number 2, one of those cases, they actually replaced one of the alien number, one of the digits in the alien number for another. So listen, it's USCIS. So just be on the lookout, just be aware. That's what I'm saying, because whenever I get notices, I always say either myself or because I have just one person who is in the office, but I have 4 paralegals, all virtual. So I have to look at all the receipt notices, well, because I have OCD too, so I love to be in control of everything. But I need to know what's the case type, what's the receipt notice, because we enter it in our system so that if I get a notification of, I have a lot of cases, hundreds of cases. So if I get an email notification, I need to be able to know what is the case type, whose case is it. And so we enter it with the case type, the under the name, as well as the last 3 digits. And so we cross-check and make sure that it's actually the correct receipt case type that we have. And so when I got that, one of my clients freaked out, and I told her, listen, I didn't want to tell her because I knew she was going to freak out, and she's dealing with a whole lot already. But I had to tell her because it's a biometrics appointment, so she's going to have to go. But anyway, they literally just emailed me like not even 5 minutes before I got on that that's an error on their end. So be sure you're looking at what you get from the Vermont Service Center, making sure they're not wrongly categorizing your case. But anyway, let's talk immigration. So this evening, we're going to talk about VAWA cases and being filed. When can the spouse of an abusive green card holder file for their green card? I know, playing words. Okay, let me show this on If you're on YouTube or Facebook, you should be able to see it on your screen. So abusive spouse is an LPR. So you have a legal permanent resident as a spouse. That's the abusive spouse. When can you file for your own green card? When can you file for your own green card? If your abuser is a green card holder, do you have to wait for a certain time? When would you know? How would you know when you can actually go ahead to file for your green card? Do you have to leave the country because your spouse is not a citizen? How does that work? Or do you just file the VAWA petition by itself and get a work permit and keep living in the country? What are you supposed to do? So, unless you've been living under a rock, but VAWA is a way where you can get your own green card without the help of your spouse. It is a confidential process. That means that USCIS is precluded from disclosing to anyone that you haven't authorized them to give information to, that you filed a self-petition green card based on abuse. And so, people, when I tell people that, like, okay, how does that even work? You're able to file your own green card based on abuse if you have a qualifying relationship. Qualifying relationship is you are married to a citizen, you're married to a green card holder, or you are a parent of a citizen son or daughter, meaning a child that is a citizen over the age 21 years or older, or you are the child of a citizen or a minor child of a citizen or minor child of a green card holder, meaning you are 21 years or younger, so under the age of 21, and you have been subjected to abuse. In my firm, 99% of the cases I do as far as VAWA abuse cases or spousal abuse. So because you're able to file your green card process yourself, even if when you have minor children, even if those children were never abused by your abusive spouse, they will be eligible to derive permanent residency status based on your eligibility. Example, you has your men. Oh, by the way, men can also file for VAWA. It says VAWA means Violence Against Women Act. However, men qualify to file for VAWA. So let's say you're married, your spouse is a legal permanent resident, and you as a dad, you have 2 kids from a prior relationship, and those 2 children they're undocumented just like you are. They've never been abused by your spouse. You're the one who your spouse has maltreated in the whole marriage. But now you find out about VAWA, and your children are, like, let's assume 17 and 19, and they're unmarried. So because you qualify, or when you qualify and become eligible to file your own green card process, start your own green card through the VAWA process, because you have 2 minor children who are unmarried under the age of 21, in spite of the fact that they've never been abused by your spouse, they will be eligible to file their green card applications at 485 based on you filing your I-360 VAWA petition and the derived status based on that. So everyone's case will rely and depend on that I-360. And so when someone had asked me, does it mean that because normally, for instance, if you have, let's say, your spouse is a citizen, you have minor children. In a regular marriage case, your spouse has to file an I-130 for you and a separate I-130 for each qualifying child, meaning the stepchild that is under the age of 21 and the step-parent is a citizen. In a VAWA case, it doesn't go that way. You file your I-360. Your children do not need to file separate I-360, but everybody would need to file their own separate I-485. Make sense? Okay. So what happens in a case where your abuser is a green card holder? Because normally when you marry a green card holder, unless you are in valid status at the time that you're filing your papers, you generally will be required to leave the country in order to get your immigrant visa stamp. Example, you come in from Nigeria, and you were given 6 months to stay. You get married. Your spouse is a green card holder, and your authorized stay expired, let's say June 1st, right? Today's June 30. You file your paperwork and you submit your paperwork today. Because you did not file that paperwork before June 1st, you will not be eligible to adjust your status. That means you've overstayed and you would have to leave the country and get your visa stamp out of the country. Conversely, let's assume your authorized stay expired June 1st, you got married, and you filed your papers, let's say April 30. Because you filed and you filed your application to adjust status before June 1st, even if USCIS does not adjudicate your case before June 1st, which is the date that your authorized stay expires, you will be eligible to adjust your status in the country without leaving because you submitted your application before June 1st. And I'll probably just confuse everybody, but okay. That's, by the way, that's usually how it goes if you're married to a green card holder. So how would you know when you can't file your green card if your abuser is a legal permanent resident? You go to what we call the visa bulletin. If you go on the U.S. Department of State, it has the visa bulletin there. If you just go on Google and type in visa bulletin, it will come up. Right now, we're using the July 2022 visa bulletin, and I'm going to share my screen. For those on YouTube and Facebook, you will be able to see my screen. So that is where the only people who do not have to use this are those who are called immediate relatives. Immediate relatives are relatives of citizens. Immediate relatives do not have to wait for visas. Visa numbers are always available to them. So that's why they're not included in the preference category. If you're not an immediate relative, then everybody else is included in the preference category. Then you go to the visa bulletin and see what priority date are they working on. As long as your priority date is current, then you become eligible to file your I-485. So let me see. Share screen. And if you're on Instagram and you want to switch over to YouTube or Facebook, then to see this, then you can do that. Okay, here we go. Share. All right. If you are on YouTube and Facebook, would you guys let me know if you're able to see my screen? Let me go to Facebook, YouTube. Somebody let me know if you can see my screen. Hello, people. YouTube, Facebook. Come on, people. I can see you. Let me know if you can see my screen. It should say visa bulletin for July 2022. Yes. Okay. Thank you, Yummy Data. All right. So the question is, if your abusive spouse is an LPR, legal permanent resident, when can you file for your green card? So you're able to file there is a time limit to file the petition itself. That's a standalone petition that can be filed just by itself. However, if you're not an immediate relative, that means you fall within the preference category. And if you fall within the preference category, you must know that your priority date is current before you submit your I-485 application. The way to know if your priority date is current is if you file, for instance, if you file your VAW petition and you want to know what dates they're working on, with the date you filed a VAW petition will determine how soon you can file your green card application. So we go to visa bulletin right here, right? And that's where you would have on this where it says, unless otherwise indicated on the USCIS website, individuals seeking to file applications for adjustment of status with USCIS and the Department of Homeland Security must use the final action dates charts below for determining when they can file such applications. So what is the final action date? This is the chart right here. The very first chart says final action dates for family-sponsored preference cases. Now you have to go here and see you are the spouse of a green card holder. That means you fall within the F2A category. Family-sponsored preferences. F1 is on married sons and daughters of U.S. citizens. F2A, that's where you as a spouse or child of a permanent resident. So where it says F2A, So now we know that your category as a spouse of a green card holder is F2A. Then you come down to the chart itself where it says final action dates. Now, there are some times where USCIS will use this other chart, which is dates for filing family-sponsored visa applications. So unless they say that specifically, and you can click on the link, and that link is on my website. So you know what chart USCIS is using for a particular month. In the month of July 2022, they will be using the final action dates, okay? And even for the month of July, either way, whether they choose to use the final action dates or they choose to use the dates of filing family sponsored, and I'll do a video to let you guys know what the difference in these two charts. But right now, for the month of July, both charts have F2A preference category as C. C means current. Current basically means that right now, there is no waiting period for anyone who is the spouse of a green card holder who has been abused and waiting to file their application for a green card based in VA. So C, when you say C, that means it's current. You're not waiting right here. This line says C all the way. That's the final action dates. Even on dates of filing family sponsor visa applications, it also has C across the board. So that means you don't have to wait for a visa number to be available. Basically, you're able to submit your I-485 at the same time when you submit your VA petition. Let's assume that rather than C, it says April 2nd, 2022, and you're submitting your VA petition June 30, 2022. So at that time, let's assume that's what it is. You will be able to submit your VA petition, but you would have to submit it as a standalone petition. Why? Because your category is not current, or they haven't reached your priority date. Your priority date would now be June 30, 2022. And until they get to cases received on or before June 30, until they get cases received on or after June 30, you will have to wait until that date. Right now, because it says C, you're able to concurrently file your 485 and your VA case. So when can you file it? Depends on if your preference category, which is the F2A spouse of your green card holder, is current. Brings me to the next question. We figured out now this is current, right? Let me stop sharing the screen here. Okay, so now we figured it's current. The next question is, because normally when you're married to a green card holder and you haven't filed your papers before your authorized stay, example, visitor visa expired, your I-94. So there's a difference between the expiration of your visa stamp itself and the expiration of your authorized stay. Because a lot of people think, and I have that a lot when I have constitution, when someone says, well, my visa is good for 2 years. I hear that. The question is, how long were you authorized to stay on that particular visit? So if your authorized stay for that single entry is expired, as the spouse of a green card holder, because you didn't submit your paper before your authorized stay expired, normally you would have to leave the country to go get your visa stamp. However, if you are filing as an abused spouse of a green card holder and your preference category is not current or they're already working on your priority date, even though you have overstayed as the spouse of a green card holder, you will still be able to apply for your green card without leaving the country, because for abused spouses of green card holders, that is the exemption when you file for VA, compared to a regular marriage-based case where you've overstayed and your spouse is a green card holder, and then you have to either wait for them to become a citizen before filing your 485, or you have to leave the country. Make sense? I think. So that's all she wrote. I'm really having difficulty talking because of my tongue. But listen, nothing brings me down. So basically, in a nutshell, as the abused spouse of a green card holder, you are able to file your green card without having to leave the country. Keep in mind, you have to make sure that your priority date is current, or if you go to Visa Bulletin right now for the month of July, it is current across the board, meaning all countries is current. Wherever you're from, their category F2A category is current. So you will be able to do a concurrent filing of your VAWA petition, file your 485, file your work authorization application, as well as your advanced parole application. So let's go to questions. Let me start on. Okay, thank you, everybody. Catherine Walcott, I am doing good, much, much better. Yes, gotta get to a physician. I don't like doctors. Not like I don't like doctors. I just don't like doctors' offices. I don't like hospitals. I don't think anybody does. But I'm the kind of person that I have passed out a side of blood before. So just put things in perspective. I just don't. And both my sons so my oldest son wants to be, I ain't gonna tell you guys what he wants to be, but he's interested in working on dead bodies. I don't know how that came about. But hey. Okay. Someone put something on. Hey, I'm reading through something someone put on Facebook. I don't know if it's, I don't know, but someone is asking for help for themselves and their children. If you guys want to stop by this video, I usually post a share on the page. So if you guys want to stop by, first name of this person is Clinton, and see if you want to help them. I don't know. I can't tell you who it is. So that's why I'm not saying much. Okay. When you close your case in court, you still apply for our immigration, give you your bill. I don't do anything regarding bail at all. So that's not even a question I can answer at all. Anything regarding bail with immigration court, I do not handle in any way. So I cannot help you. All right, let's go to thank you. Let's see. I had to reschedule my biometrics appointment because I moved states. It was supposed to be May 31st. How long does it take before? I don't know about that. That's USCIS decides that. Hey, Miss Silly, love you more. Okay, so Dorcas, I will, if you go on my website or any my contact information, but the website, if you olaleyelawfirm.com, OLALEYE lawfirm.com. You will be, or I can just send you. I think I have the link in my bio on Instagram as well, but that's going to be the fastest way. Or if you want to send me a DM, and I can send you the link directly. I ain't mad at you, Miss Lee, for being. Listen, go get your coins, girl. I ain't mad at you. And listen, and summertime is the time to even be out and to have fun. Y'all, I don't know what state you guys live in, but it is hot. Like hot. Like you don't need to turn on your stove to cook meal hot outside. It is ridiculous. I mean, as my electric bill. I said, what the? I don't understand something. Because I lived in Chicago for 3 years, right? I lived in Chicago, big city, expensive city compared to the South. But we never paid, I don't even remember paying up to $100 in electricity bill. And then you move to the South. and you're paying like 3 times what you paid in a big city for power. Somebody make it make sense. I'm trying to make it make sense. But it is hot. It is ridiculously hot. Lord have mercy. Okay. You got your promulgations today. Yay, Miss Lee. Woohoo. Awesome. Hey, Mr. Rashid, how are you? Okay, what time is it? 9:06. Oh, okay. Started early today. Yeah, there you go. So my kid has asked, teachers asked that I don't do any work tomorrow. He's actually instructed that he says I work too much. So he says, how about we do this, mommy? For the rest of the summer, you cannot do any work or take any calls or anything on Fridays. I said, I'm going to try. So this week is going to be my first week. And I think my boys were really, really worried about me, especially last week. And so, I know my oldest was very worried. Like he called me, texted. I mean, and the kid is working for me, working for his dad. So my oldest works for me during the day. And then he works for his dad. His dad is a physician and has his own clinic and works with his dad and does his dad's notes and all that. And then he also helps with taking his brother to his practice and picking him up. I'm telling you, knock on wood, that kid is a blessing. I just thank God. He is as responsible as a 17-year-old can be. He's going away to college in a year. I don't even know what I'm going to do with myself, because that's been listen. And he saves his money. Last week I didn't remember to give him his check. He came in and he goes, you got a minute? I said, what? He goes, I haven't been paid. That's my child. I haven't been paid. I'm here to get my check. I ain't mad at you, boy. This ain't mad at you. So if you've called my office, you've probably spoken to my, if it sounds like a really relative voice, that's probably my son. But Sirat Cuckoo, if my receipt number starts from iOS, do you mean IOE? I don't know what iOS is. Is that something? Do you mean IOE or? Okay, let's see. Gabby, that's the same question you'd asked. Hey, Mr. Roland, how are you? Hey, Mr. Stanley. I haven't heard from you, Mr. Stanley. What's the update on what we're working on? What's the update? Email me or text me and let me know. Hello. What is the tattoo I have on my... Oh, so I have 4. I don't think you guys can really see it. But I'll tell you what it is. It's a lion head, and then it's got Jeremiah 29:11. If you read your Bible, you know what Jeremiah 29:11 is. That's what it is. Thank you, official alone. After performing well at an interview, an immigration officer still told me my case needs further review. It sucks. Stay positive. If you're confident about what you did, now keep in mind the fact that you answered all questions right and all that. Sometimes they look at it like, okay, these people have really prepped. Let's see if we can just surprise them, and because they know that you're going to prep, And some people come in really, really ready, and they're going, okay, we'll make a decision yet. We'll see. So stay positive and just hope that you will get your green card soon. How long does it take to renew your green card? USCIS.gov/present times. Must there be an interview for every green card application, whether marriage-based, work-based, or any other? No. Uh, Marriage-based is more, it's more common to have interviews in marriage-based than in employment-based. I've only had one person, and I do, talking of employment, I am grateful. I am grateful. So you guys, why is somebody angry? At Zucker, why are you angry? You're not angry. What's going on? What are you angry for? I was talking about a university that I was hoping to be their immigration attorney. Um, Nothing wood. God decided it was, so they sent me the vendor contract today. I'm so excited. Like, I've been waiting patiently over a year. For a long time, I didn't even hear anything from them. But out of the blues, I just got an email the other day, and it was like, "Oh, by the way, okay, we're ready now." Like, okay, so I am so excited because they have quite a number of foreign professors that they hire. So, and by the way, if anyone's looking to move down to the south, I may be able to hook you up. Just saying. Um, but work based, I've only had one where my client was scheduled for an interview, just one case, and that's because the person had they had some issues that they had to clarify, and I'd already told them that was most likely going to be an interview scheduled. For the most part, it's usually marriage based, but what I'm seeing, I've had a case within the last year, one case where we got the green card approved without an interview. Um, we'll just see how things go, but it's not, they don't always have to um set up an interview. Mr. Rashid, send me an email or send me a text. What's going on? Send me an email or text because this is what 9 or I send you a text. IOE. I can't really tell you that it's a particular office that's working on your case, and that's because IOE, there's a lot. It can be National Benefits Center. It could be, and National Benefits Center also is MSC. If you file online, usually you get IOE. I'm looking for one from today where it is at the Texas Service Center, but it's IOE. I think it depends on the kind of case it is, but IOE can be any of the service centers is what I'm trying to say. Thank you. Thank you, official Alani. Listen, I'd completely forgotten about them, but I guess God didn't forget about like, okay, because I mean, when I had the meeting, I had a meeting with the president of the university, with the HR, and let me tell you something. The way that actually that came about was because I represent another school, another university that I've represented that university for, it will be 6 years in October as their immigration attorney. And the president of that particular university was the one who called the president of the other one. Well, no, the new one was, they were looking for a switch. Now I didn't do nothing. They were looking for a switch, and they wanted a new immigration attorney. So the one I've been representing for 6 years was the one that says, "Hey, they had university presidents." I don't know what it was he was telling me they had. So Dr. T was the one that I represent, one I currently represent, told Dr. H that, "Oh, I can introduce you to the person who helps us with our stuff and see if that works for you guys." So that's how that started. That's how God started that. And like I said, a year ago, I didn't hear nothing. And I followed up like, "Hey, people, hey, I'm here." But after a while, like, you know what? If it's mine, it's gonna be mine. There's nothing anyone can do. But if it's not mine, I'm just gonna let it go because God decides. And so when I heard back from them, I was like, okay. So thank you. I know God remains faithful. He remains faithful all the time. For the plans he has for us are for good and not evil. I carry that every single day as a reminder. But anyway, all right, people, let me see. Okay, more questions here. Hey, Mr. Uday, how are you? Thank you, Yummy Dada. I truly, truly appreciate that. I'm going to put yours because I'm other someone else may need that prayers that you're in my prayers, and I can tell you, no evil shall befall you. Just find time and rest. I wish I could tell my brain to rest. I'm going to try. My kid says I got to do it, so I got to do it. Yes, I have to. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Uday. I appreciate that. Lots of praying. I appreciate that. I appreciate that very, very much. Thank you. All right, everybody. I hope y'all have a wonderful. He is able to complete it. Yes, y'all just my pupil. Y'all are my people. You're just my people. Because yes, that's one thing that I know. That there's nothing God starts that He does not finish. There's some things that get started. It doesn't mean God started it. So if it doesn't work out, I'm learning. I always say I'm a work in progress because I'm not the most patient person in the world. I'm Nigerian. Go figure. But I'm learning to understand as I get older, praying and seeking more wisdom to know that not everything you ask for or you wish for or you really are truly yearning for is gonna come through, not because you don't deserve it, but because it's not part of God's plan for you. But those things are his part of his plan would not always work at the instant time that you want it to come through. And for someone who doesn't have a lot of patience, that is hard. But as I get older, I ask for wisdom and learning. God is teaching me a lot of patience, a lot of patience. You have no clue. And when things happen, I say, okay, I see it now. I understand. It don't mean that the next day I ain't gonna like, okay, I need to get it now. But I pray that we will all, I believe that we'll all meet with our blessings. It may look long in our eyes, but there's nothing that happens a second later than God intends it to happen. So I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful Independence Day. For those of us who are naturalized citizens that we celebrate, for those of us who have first generation American kids, and for those of us who are looking to become citizens one day to be able to celebrate citizens of this nation. I hope everyone has a wonderful, wonderful Independence Day weekend and stay blessed.